Welcome to a new AI video tutorial. Today, I want to show you how to use the newly released Gemma 3 model with LM Studio. If you don't have LM Studio installed, you can watch this video tutorial on how to install and use it. When you open LM Studio, you should see an update notification in the bottom right corner. You can find the version number there, so make sure you have this version or a higher one. If I look at the top, I can see that I have an older version. So I click on Update Now, and the program will begin updating. Once it's ready, it will ask you to relaunch the app. After that, you'll have the new version. So where can you get the Gemma model? You need to go to the Discover tab. There are some handpicked models suggested here, but you can also search for Gemma 3. It will show you models picked by staff and some from Hugging Face. At the time of this recording, only those with the purple label worked for me. If I select the smallest model, the 1B version, you can see it's under 1 gigabyte, but there are also larger versions. The version you choose depends on how good your computer and video card are. On my RTX 4090, I can fit the largest one they have, the 27B model. You can see that it has different quantizations for this model. Q3, Q4. The larger the number after the Q, the bigger the size, but it's also smarter. For now, I'll stick with Q3 to maintain good speed, and maybe later I'll try a larger one. What I like about this model is that it has vision, meaning it can process image inputs. So download the version that fits your system. To test it, I will download the 27B model, which is the largest. I'll also download the smallest model, the 1B version, which should be super fast. Now, I'll wait for the download to finish. I asked ChatGPT to compare these two versions. The 1B stands for 1 billion parameters, and obviously, the 27B version is much bigger and smarter. The context length is also bigger on the 27B model, so it can handle larger documents or articles. One is small and fast, while the other is big and slow, but smarter. After a few minutes, both models are downloaded. You can load one directly from here if you want, but I'll go to the Chat tab and create a new chat. Then, from the top, I can select which model to load. I will type Gemma to filter the results, and I just noticed that the big model has vision, while the smaller model doesn't. Let's load the big model, and while it's loading, let's check really quick. Yes, it seems the 1B model doesn't have vision, but the 4B does. So, the smallest model with vision seems to be the 4B. The larger models, 12B and 27B, also have vision. Let's go back to the chat. If I select the 1B model, you can see that I don't have an image icon here, but if I select the bigger model, I have the image icon. Let's click on it and try an image. Then you can ask questions about that image. I'll ask it to describe the image in detail and look at how many details I get about the image, the bunny, the background, the lighting, and the style. Let me test it with a different image. Now, I asked for a long descriptive prompt for this image. Look at this long prompt. It could work great with Flux models, for example. I asked for just the prompt, but somehow it still included extra details and keywords. The good part is that it's detailed, but the bad part is that it didn't follow the instructions exactly. But let me copy this prompt and test it to see how good the description is. First, I'll eject the model to free up the memory. I'll open Comfy UI and use a Flux dev model. Check my Comfy UI series on my main Pixaroma YouTube channel. I'm pasting the prompt and running the workflow. And this is the result. Looks quite nice. So the description seems to be accurate. Let me try something else. Let's reload the Gemma model. And now I'm uploading an image with 3 buttons just to guide the AI with what I want. Then I'll ask it to give me a prompt that looks like a game in medieval style, but now it got stuck here. The problem was that Comfy UI was on and the model was still in memory, so my memory was full. I had to close Comfy UI and restart LM Studio. I'm trying again with the same image and prompt, and now it works. The problem is that it works too well. It tried to help me too much, and since I didn't specify what I needed the prompt for, it started to give me one for Midjourney, then a second version for Stable Diffusion, and one for the DALL-E model. So I probably should have asked for a Stable Diffusion prompt. I then tried to ask for a Flux dev model to see if it knows it, it tried to give me a version, but it still looked like a Midjourney prompt. So let me test this one and paste it into Comfy UI. I'll remove the Midjourney keywords at the end and run the workflow. And look at that. All I gave it was a sketch of what I had in mind and instructions, and I got this result. So it can really be useful. I still don't think it's as good as ChatGPT, but at least this one is free. I have a PDF document here, a manual that I got for a paper cutting machine, and it contains all kinds of information about the machine. I want to see if I can ask the Gemma model about what's inside. Using this icon, I can import documents like PDF, text files, or docx files. As you can see, it gives you more details about RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and instructions on how to use it. It also suggests experimenting with different queries. So I am uploading that PDF file. Now I can start asking questions. Let me ask something random, and it starts thinking, then provides a response. Let me ask something I know the answer to, like, what software do I need to run? It gives me an answer and also shows me the citation buttons. If I hover over them, I can see where it found that information in the document. This is useful for searching through all kinds of documents for information. If I click on Show in File Explorer, it shows me that portion of the document where the information was found as a PDF file. Let me ask one more question to summarize the document in 3 sentences. And look at that. I got a short description of what it's about. Let me create a new chat, and I will import this bunny image. Then I got this. What is this? The Matrix. I restarted LM Studio, and it worked after that, but I also read online that I might need to update something else. So I'll go to the Settings button. You can see here that it says the app is updated since I already updated it at the beginning of this video. However, I didn't know that if we go to Runtime, we have some extension packs that weren't updated. So I'll go ahead and click Update on those and also on this one. That worked really fast. Now it says I have the latest version. If I look at the release notes, you can see they added Google Gemma 3 support, which is exactly what I needed. Let me try again to upload that bunny and ask what color the sofa is, and I got an answer for that. Of course, you can come up with follow-up questions like asking what art style it is to learn more about the image. I wanted to see if it could search online, but it said it cannot search. Then I went to a Comfy UI blog post that had some descriptions about Flux tools, copied the link, and asked what the article was about by pasting the link. It seems that if I give it a link, it can analyze that, but it cannot search online. So no internet search for now, or at least I didn't find a way. If you know how, feel free to leave a comment. When I asked what the date is today, it gave me a date from last year. So it seems the model has information up until that date. It likely doesn't have access to real-time information or updates beyond that point. I asked about my channel, AI to play, and it started to hallucinate, providing inaccurate information. It said, I have 385K subscribers, and while it got the right YouTube link, the other links were incorrect. If I check YouTube, I have under 3K subscribers for now, but I'll get there. Let me try once again with another article from the Comfy UI blog and ask it to summarize it. That seemed to work well. So give it articles, images, documents, or just chat with it and ask different questions. They say it knows 140 languages, so I asked it to translate something into Chinese, Romanian, and German. It seems to know the languages in general, but it still makes some mistakes. While I don't know German and Chinese, I do know Romanian, and those words shouldn't be written as CHE, but as CE. It included an extra H that shouldn't be there. Let me create a new chat and load the smaller model, the 1B. It's still useful for all kinds of things. It just doesn't have vision and isn't as smart, but it's very fast. You can use it for roleplay, for example. I can ask it to act and talk like a pirate, so you can have conversations. You can also make it a prompt engineer and ask it to give you a stable diffusion prompt. Now again, it gave me more than just the prompt. I instructed it again to give me only the prompt, and now I got just that. I asked it not to include quotes, but it still included them. The 27B model or ChatGPT understands and knows how to fix that when I ask. Let me load the 24B model and ask the same thing. So I got the prompt along with extra details, but it still included those Midjourney tags. I asked again to give me only the prompt, without extra keywords. And now I got it right without quotes, but I still need to remove those Midjourney tags. So I asked it not to include those from now on. Now I can ask for any prompts I want, and I only get the prompts. So you don't need complex formulas. Just talk to it, explain what you want and don't want, and eventually you can make it act how you want. So what is the Gemma 327B model good at? It's great for text generation, creative writing, and storytelling. It's good at answering questions and can summarize large texts. It can also be used for reasoning and logic tasks, as well as code generation and debugging, but it's still not as good as Claude in those areas. It offers multilingual support, but can still hallucinate at times. It can handle long contexts, so you can provide it with long articles and documents without it cutting off in the middle due to running out of tokens. It's good for image description and analysis, among other tasks. But let's also look at what it's not so good at. The Gemma 327B model is not so good at advanced mathematics or highly complex programming challenges. It can occasionally give hallucinated information when it comes to exact knowledge, like most models. If you have a big image with fine details, it cannot see the tiny details due to its size limit. It can be slow for real-time applications. It cannot generate images, only image descriptions. It may give repetitive or redundant responses in long conversations and sometimes forgets or ignores text. In conclusion, it's a good model that's a little smarter than other Gemma versions. It's free and can run on your computer. You have options ranging from smaller models to larger ones, so you can even run it on smaller computers or some devices like mobile phones. That's all for today. Leave a like and a comment if you found something useful. Have a great day, and I'll see you on Discord.